This is freedom. This is freedom to create and to do and to build and as artists, as individuals.
Look, you're overreacting. Even if you were developing this for freaks like us, and I doubt you are, nobody wants to buy a computer. Nobody.
How does somebody know what they want if they've never even seen it?
You may know him as Elder Arnold Cunningham if you've been lucky enough to get tickets to the Broadway hit The Book of Mormon, but actor Josh Gad is taking the world by storm on the big screen as well. He is featured in the movie The Internship, which premieres this week in Los Angeles and stars as the very eccentric Steve Wozniak alongside Ashton Kutcher in the forthcoming movie Jobs, about Apple founder Steve Jobs. Let's start, Josh, with your current role in The Internship, which stars Vince Vaughn Owen Wilson as a couple of middle-aged struggling salesmen trying to get a no-pay internship at Google. You play Andrew, a dude sort of lost in the world between his headphones. What's Andrew's purpose in the film?
Well, my character's name in the film is actually Headphones. That's his nickname that everybody calls him.
Right.
And he acts as sort of like this mentor figure to Vince Vaughn's character. I like to call him like a Jewish Yoda. And he sort of like empowers him, if you will, to find his inner intern and to really kind of win over his superiors. And the opportunity to work with Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson, who I grew up loving and watching over and over again in Wedding Crashers, was such an immense gift as a performer, because I got to just play with them and improv and spar with these masters of comedy.
Any job hazards of working with headphones on the whole time? I mean, how could you hear the directors?
I couldn't. And like Sean Levy would get angry because I couldn't hear it. And I'm like, well, then you shouldn't name a character Headphones and put him in headphones.
Right. Now, let me ask you this.
By the way, you haven't said anything about my new look.
Well, I'm getting to that. Is this you're getting a makeover of sorts, or maybe you've already done it, sponsored by Axe Deodorant? Is that right?
Shame on you, Wall Street Journal.
Yeah.
Gotten the makeover.
Gotten the makeover. It's done.
That's what you call the summer of the Neanderthal. Between my look as Headphones in The Internship and my look as Wozniak in Jobs, I literally was rocking so much hair that I didn't know what to do with myself. And so I think Axe Hair saw clips of them and felt really badly for me, like Oprah would, one of the clients that she brings on to her makeover shows. And so they put some Axe Clean Cut look pomade on my hair and made it into what you see now, which is kind of this like refined, chubby Don Draper look.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking Don Draper.
Yeah, so they teamed up with me for the premiere tonight, and so I'm rocking this amazing new do, which I'm really proud of.
But here's the thing, Josh, you couldn't have played Steve Wozniak, which you do. You play the Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak in Jobs if you had looked like this now. Now, that premiered at Sundance this year. You play opposite Ashton Kutcher as Steve Jobs. You've actually received a little bit of criticism, early criticism from Wozniak himself, who said that the personalities as portrayed in some of the scene he watched were not quite accurate, and I'm curious as to sort of how that feels to you as someone, you know, who obviously did a lot of research for this role. What's your reaction to that? It must be a little bit hard to hear that.
No, not at all. I love and respect Steve Wozniak. Otherwise I wouldn't have signed on to play him. I would hope that my performance would be judged by an entirety of the film as opposed to a 20-second clip about what clothes I was wearing and whether or not they were accurate to the day that he wore those clothes. Unfortunately, Steve is involved with a competing Jobs film, so I didn't have an opportunity to interview him like I would have wanted to and kind of set the record straight. So my research was based on everything that I could base it on, and I think that if he sees the film in its entirety, he'll see that it's a loving portrait and that he really is portrayed as somebody who was incredibly caring and an incredibly sympathetic personality. And I think that to a certain extent he was taken advantage of, and to a certain extent his legacy is one that should be celebrated, and that was what I was hoping to achieve with what I did, and I think that is what's achieved in the final product.
And you've now played so many diverse roles, from comedy to drama, Josh. Last question, if you could write any role for yourself, any role, what would that be?
Oh, if I could write any role for myself, I would write myself into the sequel to Avatar, just because I would love to see the residuals on it. And I would probably play like one of the avatars that didn't watch his weight on the journey over. And so, like, part of what he deals with in Pandora is kind of, you know, how does one lose weight in a jungle where you can eat whatever you want, and nobody is accounting for it.
All right, folks, you heard it here first. Your dream role. Josh Gad, that's going to live with you forever. Thanks for being with us here.
Thank you so much. Have a great one.
You too.